So as I mentioned earlier, once you've all joined the Slack workspace, we're going to start off the day with a Kahoot. So we're going to be reviewing the content from the last 2 days. So join Kahoot via the pin 9183551. All right, we shall begin. Question numero uno. Hopefully I didn't make any mistakes, but it's quite possible. What does first stand for? If you don't get this one, then I'll be very disappointed. You might as well not continue with the rest of the Kahoot.
I'm scared. Please don't disappoint us, guys.
Okay, I'll take it. Decent. Yeah, make sure, as Akash put so well yesterday, make sure you get the duh. The duh is the very most important part. Shamant in the lead. Am I pronouncing that right? Shamant?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Which of the levels of first can students in pre-K and first grade participate in? If I see anyone say FRC, I'm gonna leave my room right now. Okay, very good. Leo. Question 3. What is the name of the team founded in the International Academy East?
Yo, turn on the music.
I did. Wait,
We
can you not
hear
hear
it.
it? It's the most important part. Kahoot music.
I almost thought you were gonna play some bassy music, but okay. Some random bassy music from your Spotify.
Ria in the lead, Sravia on a streak. In what year was Team 226 founded? Very nice. Actually, yeah, so it's 1999. It's making this our 23rd season, so we're not that old. It's not like 26.
Hold on. Does anyone know what year first was founded? Because we also talked about that, I think.
I think it was 1989. I'm not sure.
Is it like 80 something? 1980.
Even more.
I know it was
Try again, guys.
Tanisha's gonna search it up while you guys are.
Tanisha, it's 1989, like Taylor Swift's album.
What?
It's 1990.
I just looked it up.
cool.
When was
There you
first?
have it. 1989, according to Google.
Yes, amazing.
Oh, those are some lies.
I think someone said that. You get extra points.
No.
I don't know how to add points to this, so sure. Okay, next question. How many teams has Team how many times has Team 226 won the Chairman's Award at MSC, the state championship? Tanisha, you're confusing me. Okay. Okay, everyone answered. 3. Yeah, so we won 3 years in a row, 2019, 2020, and this past year, 2021. And for the people that said 5, 5 is the number of times that we won at the district level. Ooh, a major upset. Rio went to number 2. SMH. Okay, question 6. Which of the following awards is given to the team that advances the appreciation for engineering in their community? Keyword engineering. Perfect. The RES model is a financial indicator that can be found in our team business plan. What does RES stand for? Noise. Risk affects solvency. So it's basically a method for us to essentially list out all the risks that we might be able to face and the ways that we can counteract those from causing damage to our team. Which of the 3 submitted components of the Chairman's Award is not part of the judging process? Yep, it's the video. So the video we submit beforehand, but it's only if we win that they actually show it at the competition. It doesn't have anything to do with whether we're actually going to win the award or not. Which of the following is not part of Team 226's documentation? Did your lights just go out? The same thing just happened.
Yeah, the power's about to go out.
Alright, gamers. Alright, gamers.
Power's about to go
So
out.
weird. I was like, what happened? Because my lights went
The power
out.
goes out, make it meet at Troy High School, the courtyard.
No.
Mira.
If the power goes out, then it's a snow day. Just go to sleep and enjoy your life. Alright.
Neighborhood's kind of prone to power outages.
Yeah, a couple of people texted me that they have a power outage right now too.
Power outages are pretty cool.
Pretty high.
Yeah.
Had it
Oh,
3 days.
How many international FRC teams compete annually? This might be one of the trickier questions. Yeah, it's 4,000 teams. So there are like well over 4,000 teams, but a lot of the teams, or well over 4,000 teams that have been created in like the past 30 years, but many of the teams like have been dissolved and are no longer competing. So there's 4,000 current teams.
Hey, just Tanisha, some people's power have already went out, so if they don't join the meeting then from yesterday, then get the factor that in for attendance.
yeah, sure. They just have to let me know, and then I can mark them like excused or something.
So in a normal year, how many outreach events does our team participate in annually? Yeah, the answer is 50. So basically, like on average, 1 a week. And this includes all of our events.
I said
Yeah.
yesterday, it's still around 50, somewhere around that, not like 70. 70 is not.
Guys, we do more than 15 events.
That's just a roast to the amount of effort marketing and everyone puts in.
All my initiatives.
STEM kids. All right, question number 12. Which of the following is an example of a community betterment event? If any of you say Krispy Kreme fundraiser, I will be so disappointed. Okay, good. Which TYR hosted competition is for middle school teams, FTC? Noise. Sharknado. So Sharkfest is for FLL, Sharknado is FTC, and then our Troy District Qualifier is the one we host for FRC teams. Which of the 3 C's does this task fall under? Networking and talking about STEAM first in our team at events. Is Akash? Okay, Akash is frozen. Yep. All right. Yeah. So there, the 3 C's. Communication is one of the C's. Isn't one of the C's. But coordination, collaboration, and connection. So coordination is the first step. You basically work with event coordinators to set up the event in the first place. Collaboration is when you create flyers and inform your community about the event. We work within our team to get volunteers for the event. And then connection is once we're at the event, we try to connect and create even further opportunities. So we try to set up more events. We try to connect with people and have them join our team. So that's connection. Networking and talking about stuff at our events. Akash is back.
Yeah, I'm back. I was about to go to Troy High. No. If it is,
No, no, no. Troy High Wi-Fi is terrible. That would be even worse than your homes. Okay, what is the last question? What is the first step in writing an email to an event coordinator? Yeah, so the first thing you do is state your name, role, and your name and your role on the team. All right, now for
you wouldn't thank the recipient for their time at the start.
yeah, you just go up to them and say thank you for your time, and then you leave. That would not be very productive. But yeah, all right. Final rankings. Drum roll, please.
Whoever wins this gets candy from the tree.
Yeah, but yeah, the candy will definitely have COVID on it, so I don't know if you want it. Somya, Ria in second place, and first place is Trisha. Yay! You don't really win anything. And Anurag and a third, I pronounced that correctly, or fourth and fifth. Yeah, you don't get anything, but good job. I'm proud of you. All right.
Yeah, we don't want to lie to you like we did last year about giving you things. So, we'll let you know.
Wow, this was the toughest question. I'm actually sad that people think we only do 15 events a year. SMH. We did 15 events in like the last 2 months. Actually, that's false. But anyway, all right.
Even
Next
lower.
up, next up we have marketing projects. Akash, you want to
Do this
screen
real
share?
quick. My Wi-Fi goes out again, so. Alright. So I got them and then.
Oh, before we go on, I need all of you guys to have your cameras on.
Yeah. If you don't, you won't get candy.
Yes. I don't know. I can only see like a couple of you at a time.
Yeah, the max is 9.
That's for you guys.
And then Akul figured out how to scam Microsoft Teams, so he gets 49.
Cool. How many people have their cameras on?
There is currently only 9.
Oh. Disappointing. Should I just mark everyone absent? Yeah.
You guys see the screen.
But I know a couple of you are logging in with your Troy School District's account. Please don't do that, because then you can't turn your cameras on. I did send an email about that yesterday. But for those of you who are new, it's fine. But if you can't, for some reason, turn your cameras on, just put it in the chat and we'll understand. All right, go on.
How much is looking again? Okay. Let me try screen sharing. Okay. Alright. Oh, you guys can see it, right? Sure. Okay, good. So I think, I forgot who sent this one, but whoever it is, can you guys present it? I have all 3. Find it. This is a Ria group. This one from Ria's group want to present. Or Ria.
Before we go on, does someone want to go ahead and summarize what this assignment was? Just to remind everyone. So many people keep leaving because of the power outage. Let me just randomly pick on someone. Okay. Do you want to go ahead and summarize what the task was?
We're supposed to find an event. So like we want to have a fun like showcase our robot and like event planning like it was like for practice to practice event planning.
Yeah, sure. So essentially, you guys are supposed to find some type of an event that we could go to where we could showcase our robot and reach the younger generations. And they just had to list like the step-by-step plan and just some details about the event. So whoever's this project is, just go ahead and summarize what you guys did.
That's right. Talk about it briefly here, and then talk about your steps. Okay, I'll come back to this group.
Okay, so
Oh, okay, yeah, go ahead.
my bad. So this one was basically the Soaring Eagle Arts Beats and Eats Festival, which is Oakland County's biggest celebration of art, music, food, and community. It takes place in downtown Royal Oak on Labor Day weekend, and it's scheduled for September 3rd to 6th. So there's hundreds of thousands of people that come here, which includes young people, and it's a low-cost event, and it's designed for families. And this, since it is a festival, there are booths being set up, so we could request a booth and ask if we can, do interactive things with the robots, with the kids, and whoever wants to like help out. And the steps we designed for this was to create a plan first about what possible activities we could do, reach out to the coordinators. Well, that should be first, and then see if we can even get a booth or like what's the plan if everything's set up. And so once we get all that information, we can start assigning people roles and then work on the project. So we can teach everyone like what to say to people and get a drive team so that we can all work on it together.
Yeah, that's great. I'll give general feedback at the end, like we did for yesterday. That's good. I like how it's pretty detailed. Go to the next one. Armada Fair. I think this was, this was a news group. Anyone from that want to present? Avani, you want to present?
Oh, so our event was the Armada Fair, and so for the description, it's from August 16th to 22nd, and it's pretty close, so it's not too far of a drive. The purpose is it's a carnival filled with many exhibits, including performances by singers, monster trucks, etc. There's also like another robotics event there, so like that would be interesting to go see too. And then steps we need to take: we could submit an entry to be an exhibit through the website, have our robot on display, plus many STEAM activities that we have. Get at least 3 volunteers for each activity. We could have like a Lego thing for like younger kids to like build with Legos and make toy robots. And then contact the fair coordination for all the details like time frame, space, whether we will have a tent. Have a sign showing who we are and have flyers to give to families. And then there are like 2 links for like the websites for the fair itself. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. That's good. Funny enough, we emailed them too, and they haven't got back to us. But yeah, it's good. Let's go to the Yates Donut and Art Festival. This was Anurag's group. I know you didn't send this through email, but like you shared this to me, so yeah, love the Google Doc, and I think it's all done. So yeah.
All right. So the event that we chose was the Yates Donut Cider and Art Festival. It's like an annual outdoors convention from September 11th through 12th. On the 11th, it's from 10 to 6, and on the 12th, it's from 11 to 5. That's a Saturday and Sunday. And it's hosted by the Canterbury Village in Lake Orion, Michigan. And so pretty much what happens there is like there's live entertainment, art displays, an open air shopping market, and other family events. And of course, they'll have like cider and donuts for people. And that was an important deciding factor because, kids like donuts, kids like cider. So, yeah, it just seemed pretty like straightforward there. And then for the purpose, obviously the purpose of this event for them was like is obviously to raise funds. There is an admission fee. It's like $5 per person. So it'll raise funds for the cider mill and like the Canterbury Village organization. And the purpose for us to go there is to um, uh, for STEM outreach and our and good exposure to a crowd of young people, considering that it's a donut festival. And so the steps that we would take, we would contact the event coordinator. We found their number. This number is actually for the Canterbury Village, so it works out perfectly. For this event, we might have to just sign up as vendors, but we do want to get a special section for ourselves. If we were to go there, we probably wouldn't want to be mixed in with the shops because that's not what we are. Then we would, get hourly volunteers, considering that it is like a 6-7 hour event. We would need volunteers for each hour, like shifts. Then we would gather entry fee funds if needed. Again, there is a $5 entry fee for people attending the event, which might be different for people who are setting up booths there. So we'll have to look into that after we call. And then at the event, we would need several people to demonstrate the several components of our team and do drive demonstrations, etc.
All right, that was awesome. First of all three of these were pretty detailed, and I'm glad you guys all found an event which you guys described and all that. So that's good. First point, I liked how you guys all described that we can come here and we can have stations, and then we can talk to people and that kind of stuff. I'm glad you guys tried finding events that attract a lot of people, and you guys went for like fairs, festivals, and things like that. One thing I would say is that we don't want to sign up as a vendor. Some groups may have mentioned this, but we don't want to sign up as a vendor, as usually it costs like $100+, and we can't really pay that right now. So that's one thing. Another thing I liked was you guys finding finding your own STEAM activities. Even though we may have other STEAM activities, it's good that you guys tried thinking of them yourselves, and yeah. So another thing I would say is to make sure that in this time frame, I said this for my group at least, make sure it's like 10 days away at least. So that would mean like August 20th plus, because we can't really sign up if it's this post if it's like a week away. So yeah. But all in all, we will definitely take this into consideration, and then a lot of these we can email for them, call them. And I also liked how some of you provided their number, which is more effective than email. And yeah, we'll definitely take this into consideration. And these projects were really good. So yeah, I don't know much else to say. If anyone else wants to say something, yeah.
I just had a question for the entire group again. What do you guys think is the purpose of all these events? Like, why exactly are we asking you to find them? Why are we attending them? What's it going to get us?
Like recognition from people. Like, we want people to know about what we're doing at the school and how we're progressing along with our robot. And like, that's the whole point of PR. You just want to get the word out there.
Exactly, yeah. What we're trying to do with all these events is that we're trying to spread FIRST in particular and STEAM in particular. And we reach out to the younger audience because if we start giving them exposure to all this stuff at a young age, then they're more likely to continue that and involve themselves in FIRST programs. And another reason is, again, for chairmen, because we want to show, so the Chairman's Award, you probably heard a lot about it yesterday at the general team meeting, but these are the types of events that really count towards chairmen and make an impact on how well our team does in reaching people. And this just counts to one of the, I think we have 130 events over the past 3 years, which is a really good number. And especially with our team size, we want to make sure that we are giving all of you guys the opportunity to get involved with things and learn about FIRST and talk to other people. And so we have to have this magnitude of the events that we go to so we can just carry out our mission effectively. All right.
Coolio.
Yeah, we will talk about fun.
Yeah. So now me and Alan Zhang, we will be talking about sponsorship. So compared to awards and marketing, it's not too long. The presentation is just a couple slides, so we'll go over this, and then we have another project for you today. We'll be working on a sponsorship newsletter. So let me screen share this, and we can get started. And I would full screen it, but I'm gonna like open up a bunch of links right now, so I'm just gonna go back and forth. So I'll just leave it like this. Unless can everyone see it? Can everyone read the slides? Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. So yeah, sponsorship. Alan, go ahead.
Yeah, so sponsorships are monetary donations from businesses or organizations in exchange for predetermined benefits. Benefits for sponsorships for us are cash, mentors and experience, and tools such as machinery and software. And then the benefits for the sponsors are advertising, like on a website, and tax deductions.
Yeah. So, adding on to Alan, obviously the benefits, if a business cooperates with us and partners with us and gives us free stuff, that's obviously a benefit to us. But a lot of times people see it as a donation when in reality it's a mutual partnership. When the sponsors give us something, we give them something in return. And I'll show you guys our sponsorship package later, which essentially details all the different benefits that we provide our sponsors. We basically give them free advertising whenever we go to competitions. We have their logos on our robot at our pit area, so like thousands of people see it. And also they get tax deductions, which means that whenever they give us a certain amount of money, they can take that out of their financial taxes every single year, which will save them a bunch of money. So here's some. Yep.
Just could you go back to the previous slide?
Yeah.
Could you explain the benefits real quick and like how that works? Like advertising, like what? Yeah, exactly. How does us getting sponsorships from them like help them? Is what I'm asking.
Oh yeah. I'll go over
Like, just
our the what?
yeah, just like elaboration is what I'm asking. Like, could you
Yeah.
elaborate on that?
Yeah, I'll go over our sponsorship. Actually, I'll just do that right now. Basically, when we retain sponsors, wait, let me move this. Yep. So our sponsorship package, this is what we submit when, or not submit, this is what we send potential sponsors. So if we want to find businesses that are willing to partner with us, we send them the sponsorship package. And essentially, this details all the different things our team does and why we need the money to do what we do. But it also details the benefits that our sponsors can get. So these are the different sponsorship levels. There's bronze, silver, gold, platinum, and diamond, depending on however much money they provide us. And then these are the benefits. So, for example, when I say advertising, if they sponsor us at least $100, then we'll put their logo on our website. Or if they provide us with over $10,000, like some of our bigger sponsors, GM or Denso, we'll put our logo on our shirts and our robots. And so every time someone comes up to our pits, they'll see a whole like wave of blue people, and they'll just see not blue people. They'll see a whole wave of people wearing blue shirts, and they'll see these big logos, and they'll say, "Oh, okay, this is a company. That's very involved in robotics and helping out these people. And now I'm going to remember this company." And same thing with our robots. You'll see at competitions there'll be huge screens that'll zoom into robots on the playing field, and on a robot we have all of our logos. So everyone in that arena or whatever you want to call it, thousands of people will see those logos. So that's basically what I mean by free advertising. And when I say tax deductions, obviously companies have to pay taxes. So if you're paying $30,000 in taxes, for example, then if they sponsor us $10,000, then companies can take that $10,000 out of that 30,000. So they only have to pay taxes on the first 20,000. So that's a benefit for them as well because they're saving money. So, yeah. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Thanks.
So these are our main sponsors.
Sorry,
Yeah.
one second. I also wanted to add that just the fact that sponsors or like certain companies or organizations, when they sponsor an initiative like ours, just like a First Robotics team, it also promotes them as a STEM advocate in their own community. So it's just going to get them more revenue and get them more customers who appreciate their contribution to our team. You know what I mean? So it's also about their place in our society.
True.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of times as well, like I know this is from another FRC team, but there's another FRC team called the Killer Bees in Michigan, and many of their students they actually interned with their primary sponsor's company, and then they later took up positions in that company. So it's also for ways for sponsors to find young talent. Like high schoolers doing robotics isn't something that's very common. High schoolers that have engineering skills, these engineering skills that generally take years to cultivate. And so when a company can swoop in and be like, "Oh, high schooler, please intern for me," that's a benefit for them. So that's another way that sponsoring us can help them get talent and help them get resources as well. But yeah, so our primary sponsors are Denso, GM, Continental, 3M. We also have a bunch of other sponsors, Kelly Services, Chrysler, Delphi. Many of these sponsorships we have to update, and like every single year we have to contact them again to make sure that they still want to sponsor us. Because if they sponsor us one time, that doesn't guarantee that they'll continue to sponsor us every year. But I'll go over like retention and all that later. So next up, generally, what are grants? Alan?
So grants are funds provided by public entities or charitable institutions to causes that they deem important. So there's the Michigan Department of Education grant. You have the Child Care Development Fund, Perkins Career and Technology Education, and the first robotics grant.
Yeah. So the Michigan Department of Education provides a assortment of different grants. And so every year they have these huge list of grants that they're going to provide to high schoolers, to middle schoolers, to elementary schoolers. And one of these grants is the robotics competition grant. So every single year, this past year, they've funded over $4 million just for robotics teams in the state of Troy. Or not the state of Troy, in the state of Michigan. And so we can actually apply to these grants every single year. So this year we're going to be applying to the first robotics grant, and so this will help us get materials. This will help us fund our robot, etc. And so we tell them why we need the money, and if they deem it important enough, if they say, okay, this team needs the money more than another team, then they'll grant us that money. And then FIRST Robotics, aside from the Michigan Department of Education, the program itself, FIRST Robotics, provides an assortment of different grants. And one of these grants is actually a grant that we won last year, which is the Diversity and Inclusion Grant. I just forgot English for a second. So the Diversity and Inclusion Grant is a grant that we received last year, and it's basically awarded to teams that essentially do all that they can to help underrepresented people, undeserved people, underserved people, and then vulnerable people. Tanisha, stop laughing. Okay. So underrepresented people are people of different races that aren't really part of STEAM or engineering and don't have the same opportunities. Akash, why are you laughing? SMH. All right, vulnerable. I need a break. Okay, vulnerable people are immigrants, people with disabilities. Basically, all these different groups are just people that don't have the same opportunities that like people who are privileged have. And so teams that can create initiatives, create events that can serve these individuals will be awarded this grant. And so basically, they gave us $4,000 last year in order for us to continue to serve these people. And so we're continuing to start new events, new initiatives to help these groups of people. So, Tanisha, you want to talk about STEM kits?
Guys, okay. So with our first diversity and grant money, we got around $4,000. And with that money, because our goal is to reach an audience that's underserved and doesn't have a lot of resources like we do, I thought that we would start an initiative in Detroit middle schools. So the idea is to essentially start a club, like an after-school club, in underprivileged schools in Detroit, and give them monthly installments of STEM kits or send them resources to learn about STEM. And essentially this could be like a sustainable thing because we have money to fund it from this diversity grant. Our goal is essentially to make STEAM available to all. And this is how we're going to be using the diversity grant money to start an after-school program in Detroit and give them STEM kits.
Yeah. All right. So now let's talk a little bit about sponsorship acquisition. So sponsorship package is so basically when we try to acquire different sponsors, our goal is essentially to make a huge list of all the different potential businesses, potential partners, potential organizations that we can work with. And so here, for example, we have this spreadsheet of well over 100 businesses and their email addresses. Actually, there's like 300 in this list. And we essentially contact everyone in our local area. We contact multinational businesses. We basically contact anyone that's closely related to engineering, automation, or people that have sponsored First Robotics in the past. And so what we basically do is we send them an email with our sponsorship package, which I showed you guys earlier. We tell them, we write a letter, we tell them why we think we need the money. We talk about our successes in the past and how we've used other sponsors' money to fund our team. We talk about the benefits that they can receive. And we do this via emails. We meet them at events and competitions. For example, 2 or 3 weeks ago, we went to the Troy Traffic Jam, and there we met up with some companies and we talked to them and trying to create potential partnerships with them. So that's basically how we acquire the sponsors. But acquiring sponsors is only one step of actually having a sustainable approach to sponsorship. The second part is retaining those sponsors, because any business might give us $100 one year and just see it as a donation. But a sponsorship is something that we want. Sponsorship is more like a partnership. It's not like a donation. We want them to continue being our partner. We want them to continue to fund and provide us with resources every single year. And so the way that we try to retain our sponsors is we constantly update them. That's the main key, is we tell them why their money is being used and how their money is being used, and to ensure that they know that their partnership was worthwhile, that the money that they gave us is being used for a good cause. So the way we do that is via our YouTube channel and our social media. So we've created a chairman's video and a sponsorship video every single year to tell our sponsors all the different events that we participate in, all of our initiatives, and inform them of everything in a very concise manner, because we do have our other documentation, but I don't think any sponsor, any business is going to read through 100 pages. So it's just a quick 2-3 minute video for them to get updated. And then we also have our sponsorship newsletter, which is a new thing that we want to start this year, which is basically going to be a monthly, essentially, edition of like a 3-4 page thing where we talk about all of our different, all the different things that we did that month, and we update them on our progress with our robot. We update them with our progress with awards and marketing and all the different things that our team does. And then specific businesses also have their own ways of making sure they know what we do. So GM, for example, has a yearly yearbook where a yearly yearbook has a yearbook. Anurag, everyone, this is not going on. Has a yearbook where basically every single year they ask all the different teams that they work with, because big companies like GM and Chrysler, they work with well over like 20-30 teams, and so they ask all the different teams that they work with to create like a one-pager of all the different accomplishments that they had every single year, and they make a big booklet of that. So that's some of the ways that sponsors can get updated and all the different things that we do. All right, question time. So if you understood some of my English, then hopefully you got the content that I was trying to convey. Question numero uno, list 3 of our current sponsors. And type it in the chat. And yeah. GM, very good. GM, oh, we're rhyming, very cool. And Continental and Denso, cool. Yes, those are 4 of those are our main sponsors. As I mentioned earlier, can someone name some of our other sponsors aside from our main sponsors from the list I showed you guys earlier? Yeah, Kelly Services. So Kelly Services, Chrysler, even the Troy School District sponsors us or grants us money. Naps Donuts. Why do you do this? Okay, cool. Numero 2, question number 2. What are the 3 variations of the Michigan Department of Education grants? This is a harder one. Ready Prep is not one of them, Akash. I'm sorry. Although that would be pretty cool. Yes, Child Care Development Fund is one of them. Normally I'd promise candy, but I can't even give it to you guys. Even if I did have candy, which I don't, I'm lying. I can't even provide it to you, so that's a rip. All right, this is a harder one. I don't really expect you guys to know it, especially because I don't know them myself. Childcare Development Fund, Perkins Career and Technology Education Grant, and the First Robotics Grant. So these are the ones that the Department of Education provides, and then First Robotics has their own set of grants. All right. Question number 3. What are the 3 components included in the sponsorship package? There's no like specific name. You could really call it anything, but yeah, just explain, I guess, with a quick sentence. Or actually, I'll just call on someone. I like calling on people. Okay. Let's go with. Let's start with Anurag, shall we? Anurag, go ahead.
I remember like we did have the one component with the like the packages that we had, unless that wasn't a part of the sponsorship package, right?
So package is the sponsorship package. What do you mean? Like I'm saying, like the 3-page document that I just showed you. What is
Yeah.
what's the component of that? Like what are some of the things included in that?
Just what did you see in there and describe
Yeah.
what it was?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we had the different packages like within the sponsorship package. Didn't we have like the different prices that they could donate
Right.
to?
So the different tiers. Yeah.
The different tiers of yeah, that's what it is. No, yeah, the different tiers of donations, and you know what we provide for them depending on which tier that they select,
Right.
and that
So
how that helps clarify, you know, what we could do for them in return for their sponsorship.
right. So yeah, so we have our letter at the start just telling them why we need the money. We have our tiers, which is all the different price points that they can, all the different amounts that they can sponsor. And then we have the benefits that we'll provide if they fall under a specific tier. So like if they're in the lowest tier, then they won't receive many benefits. But if they donated over $10,000, then they'll have their logo advertised everywhere and they'll see a bunch of different benefits. And finally, what does Team 226 do in order to retain sponsors? So I just mentioned 4 things. Yeah, I mentioned 4 things. Name one of them in the chat, please.
Just a heads up, please don't leave the meeting when she tries calling someone. You guys, answer or it doesn't. Any answer provided, it doesn't have to be completely correct. So yeah.
Indeed.
We can see you guys leaving, by the way. I've seen it multiple times. But yeah. Let's call on someone, shall we?
Everyone answer in the chat, but if you want to, go ahead.
Forgot about that. Okay.
All right, yeah. So I see sponsorship video a lot. I see newsletters. Those are 2. Chairman's video, yes, that's the 3rd one. What's the 4th one? This is a specific thing. You don't have to give me the name. Just talk about this, I guess. Yeah, the GM yearbook. So some businesses have their own ways of being updated on what we do, and GM has a yearbook. All right, cool. Now it's project time. So you'll be creating, actually this is inaccurate. You'll be creating a sponsorship newsletter. Let me pull up. So once again, our team has never created a sponsorship newsletter before. That's something that we want to start this year in order to actually retain our sponsors. Tanisha, why are you laughing so much? Very.
Because let's not talk about that.
Okay. Yeah. So our team has never created a sponsorship newsletter before, so hopefully we can use your guys' designs to model our sponsorship newsletter for this year. I'm going to show you guys some of the different like designs that other teams have come up with in the past. But a sponsorship newsletter, actually, I'll show you guys the project first, the instructions. The sponsorship newsletter should contain the following things. So you guys will be creating an edition for the month of August so far. I was originally going to do July, but I know many of you people that are new to the team have not really experienced any of the events in July. So we'll mostly be talking about boot camp, and then some of you I know went to Adopt a Road, so you can talk about that, or the leads in your groups will help you with that. But you'll recap the month of August so far. You'll mention any future plans we have this month, like after boot camp when we'll be meeting every week for general meetings, our school reopening. Hopefully that actually happens, and we'll come back together and we'll meet together in person near like August at the end of August. And then we have events coming up like the Autism Center event or Michigan State Fair during the Labor Day weekend. So also include some links to social media and our team contact information. So our website, our Twitter, our Instagram, so maybe some emails of like the president, like Raga or Mr. Tu, if anyone needs to contact us. And then mention our primary sponsors, so GM, Denso, 3M, Continental, etc. And obviously, as always, utilize photos, make it look, utilize your creativity, make it look good. We want you to follow the branding standards. As Akash showed you guys yesterday, we do have branding standards. We do have specific colors and fonts and types of things that we do for all of our different documents. But I want you guys to take that and then stretch it out a bit. Try using things like Canva or different services like infographics and stuff, and make it actually look very aesthetic and appealing. Let me show you a sponsorship newsletter from another Michigan team, the Atom Bots. So this is from the start of the season. This was their January newsletter. So they described the game, because every year the game for the season is released in January. They described competition format, because many of their sponsors may not be aware of how the competitions work. They talked about all their successes this year, the awards that they have won. They talked about the specific events that they did during that month. And then they just had an update on how the robot was going, how the team was still working during COVID. And then on the side, they have all their social media links, they have their sponsors, et cetera, et cetera. So this is an example of what a sponsorship newsletter looks like, except this is like an HTML version. This is online. I want you guys to create like a PDF or an infograph type thing. So yeah, that's the instructions. Do you guys have any questions? Cool. Tanisha, I believe we're going to do the same thing as yesterday. We'll be moving to a Zoom now.
Yeah, I have the link right here.
Okay.
So we're going to do the same thing as yesterday, guys. We're all going to be moving to a Zoom link because you guys are just more familiar with it and it's easier to work with. So here's the Zoom link. You can, once you join it, you can leave this link, and then we'll send you the link to the sponsorship document when we get to the Zoom. Okay? So go to that link.